So WGU has a new proctoring service. I believe this goes into effect the 8th or 9th. And basically, this company is called Measure Learning. So Measure Learning has bought out Examity, and they also had bought out ProctorU. So to my knowledge, the exam software that you use will be now Measure Learning, which I actually think is a good thing. I did not have problems with Examity like other people do, but I wasn't a huge fan of the user interface. I thought it could use some tweaks and maybe look a little better and function a little better. So the exam software is going to be Measure Learning. I believe it will no longer be Examity. So that I don't know that for sure. It's something that we'll have to see when it launches on the 8th or 9th. Also, it seems like they will be using the ProctorU proctoring service. I could be wrong on that also, but I do not see where it'll still use Examity. When you go to Measure Learning's website, which we will do in a second, it mentions nothing about Examity. So I think it'll be using the Measure Learning exam software combined with the ProctorU proctoring service. Now, I've had good experiences with Examity, but I will admit every once in a while that I would get a not so great proctor. But for the most part, I didn't have as many bad experiences as other people did. I will say though, with ProctorU, my experiences have been amazing. I used ProctorU probably like 25 times with Straighterline and other platforms, and I only had one bad experience, and the rest of them were absolutely terrific. With ProctorU, I would basically like go out of my way to leave a good review. With Examity, I didn't really care one way or the other. Although Examity I thought was a little bit better than people gave it credit for. Like, it was still a good software, it was still a good service, and most of my experiences were pretty good. I've never used Measure Learning. I've never even heard of it until right now. Apparently they bought out Examity a year ago, and they're just now integrating basically. So at least WGU is just now making the change. So my theory is they'll be using the ProctorU proctoring service, but it is possible they will still be using the Examity proctoring service just under the Measure U platform. But they will for sure, it seems, be using the Measure Learning exam software. So your exams are going to look totally different. The user interface, how they look, how the questions look, how everything looks is going to look totally different because it's going to be a different software entirely. When you guys do start using this new proctoring service, for those of you still attending WGU, if you could comment down below and let us know how it is. Let us know which proctoring service they're using, whether it's ProctorU, Examity, or their own Measure Learning proctoring service. Please comment down below. Also, if the exam software has updated to Measure Learning or if it's still Examity, you can also comment down below and give us a better picture of how that is. So I am making a video on this before it has actually launched. I just want people to know that there will be a new proctoring service. A lot of people think this is long overdue because there was some problems with Examity, and you would hear in the Facebook groups and on Reddit some stories about it. Like I said, I think my experiences were mostly fine. I didn't have really much of a problem with Examity. I think it's a good software. But for the most part, a lot of people did have some issues with it. I do think overall, you're splitting hairs, but I do think ProctorU is a better service. I've experienced really, really great customer service through ProctorU, and all of my exams went pretty smooth. So, like I said, I don't like saying any bad thing about any company, but the only negative thing I can possibly say about Examity was I would get a proctor at my time at WGU, and they would make me hold for up to 25 minutes sometimes. Like, hey, hold on. And then they would mute me, and they would go do something else. Like maybe they're doing multiple exam takers at one time, and which maybe is not their fault. Maybe it's WGU, Examity, etc. I have no idea. But they would do that, and then they would come back like 25 minutes later, which I just thought was a little absurd. ProctorU never did that to me, which I was always extremely grateful for. So maybe this new exam software everybody will like. Maybe the user interface will be a little more pleasing to look at. And maybe the proctors will just be, maybe the whole service will be a lot better. Now, I am going to go into Measure Learning's website so we can check it out. This company has bought out ProctorU and Examine, which are like the top two softwares. I will also say that there is now going to be a Guardian browser. So if you never used like a Guardian browser, they have one on study.com, and they also have one at other schools such as like Arizona State University. It's not the same exact browser, but the concept is the same, where basically all you can do on your computer is be on that browser, and then they will unlock it once you're done with the test. So you can't do anything else on your computer. So it's like this safe measure mechanism where, like you can't do basically anything else, which is a nice compromise if there's not going to be a live proctor. So study.com, for example, does not have a live proctor. Instead, they have that lockdown browser, so you can't do anything else. And it still records your room, and it still records the screen. So, you still can't really, it makes a live proctor not really necessary. Now, do I think WGU is still going to have a live proctor? I would assume so, because they're a huge school. But it is possible they might not have live proctors anymore, which would be absolutely crazy and maybe a good thing, right? A lot of people think proctors are intrusive. A lot of people think like they don't want somebody just looking at them their whole test. They get test anxiety. I think it's something you kind of get used to, but the first few times you do it, it is kind of like nerve-wracking. Just somebody's like watching you, watching your eyes, criticizing you at every moment in a way. Like, hey, did his eyes move off screen, right? It's just kind of nerve-wracking in that sense. I think that online proctoring is necessary. I know a lot of you guys think it's intrusive. Until a better solution is found where it can prevent cheating, 99.9%, until that method is discovered where cheating is prevented online 99.9% and somebody doesn't have to watch you through your screen, then I still think online proctoring is necessary. I do think there is a solution, and it has not been found yet. And whoever does find that solution, it's going to be obviously extremely popular. But as of right now, there is no solution outside of live proctoring or AI proctoring, Guardian browsers and self-recording, things like that. So until there is a better solution, I do think proctoring is necessary. I will say though that I do think a proctor controlling your computer is way too excessive. So I do think there needs to be workarounds around that. So I do not think a proctor should be able to control your computer and then basically, enter the code for the exam. I do think there has to be a better method for that. I think a proctor, yes, they should be able to view you on camera and record your screen, but I do not think that they should be able to control your computer. I think that is quite intrusive. I am on the Measure Exam platform website, and this will be the new platform that WGU is using. So there are no screenshots that I can see really of the exam platform, so we'll just get a surprise when it's launched, and you guys can comment down below what it looks like. You can comment down below if you like it, if the user interface is better, if it's the same. You can comment whatever you want down below and let people know. So right now, if you go to remote exam proctoring, they have all of this information right here. Let's see, services, technology. So here we go, technology. ProctorU is what they use for a proctoring platform. Now, for WGU, it is possible they just keep using the Examine proctoring platform. I don't think that will happen, but it's a possibility. So it seems like ProctorU is what they use for proctoring, which I do prefer. ProctorU is really good, and they also use Guardian Browser, and we'll get into that in a second. So live, review, record, solution. So record, they have an option for not live proctoring, but like I said, that's more for low stakes exams, which it even says right here. Success for Goldilocks solutions. Live Plus. So I'm assuming Live Plus is what they're going to use, which is a Live Plus, which is a live proctor. And they'll use ProctorU and a live proctor and use the Guardian browser. And that is my theory. It would be cool if WGU ditched the live proctor entirely. I just don't think they'll do that. I feel like they think their school will get some criticism, and they definitely don't want that. WGU is always very concerned about their image, and they put a lot of effort into maintaining their image. Then you got proven remote exam software since 2008. So this company's been around for a while. And we're going to try to look into the Guardian browser here and see what it will tell us. Security, streamlined process, test taker feature, full internet browsing capabilities, quick link buttons to initiate support chat. As I figured, like, you'll only have access to the browser, but if you need to talk to the proctor, there will be a button in the browser basically. So quick access, and this will be a browser, like an actual app on your desktop. So you probably save the app to your desktop so you have easy access to it. Or if you're on Mac, save it to your launch or your dock down below. And basically, you'll click that when you want to start a test for WGU, and then everything else will probably be pretty self-explanatory. So this actually will be an app that you need on your computer, and it will actually be a browser. So as with any lockdown browser, you won't have copy and paste functions, screenshot functions, no tabs, etc., etc. And it will be able to detect virtual machines. So that's another thing as well. And let's go into their Measure exam platform. I'm pretty sure we don't get any screenshots here. It has like a screenshot of a login thing, but we don't get to see what the test actually looks like. I'm kind of excited, even though I don't go to WGU anymore. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a WGU degree at some point. But even though I don't go there anymore, I'm quite curious what the exam software will look like. I hope it does look better. And like I'm really particular about user interfaces. Like I prefer something that looks really clean, really organized, and also like really nice to look at too. So clean, organized, and it just looks like really beautiful in a way as well. Like beautiful, but maintain the simplicity, maintain the minimalisticness to it. So I hope this software will provide that, and that it makes you want to take tests even more. So, the great thing about user interfaces is the whole point of them is you want to design them to keep the user engaged, keep the user happy. When you're designing a user interface, which some of you might, because a lot of you watching this want to be software engineers at some point. When you design a user interface, you want to make it so it's very pleasing on the eyes, and users will stay on the platform because it is a very pleasing user interface, which usually does require a good mix of colors that are easy on the eyes, and a good mix of minimalisticness, being simple. Like you don't want overly clunky, and you don't want too basic either. So it's got to be a good mix of everything, and finding that is kind of difficult sometimes. But I think this will wrap up the video today. We've covered as much as we can about this new software. And once this does launch in the next few days, if you guys could comment down below so other people know as well, other people will know how this software works. If you like the test software, if you like the new proctoring service, comment down below. A lot of people don't comment when they have good stories about a proctoring service. They just comment the bad stories. So if you use this for the first couple times and your experiences are good, your experience with the proctoring is good, your experience with the software is good, please still leave a comment down below about how your experience went well. So, if you have a bad experience, feel free to share that as well. But if you have a good experience, we would all like to know. So thank you so much for watching today. It's always a pleasure. I have a couple more WGU videos coming out the same week as well. So one of them will be a cloud computing versus cybersecurity video if any of you are interested in that. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. I have a lot more videos coming out. If I helped you in any way, please like and subscribe. And just know that more school videos are coming out. I have more videos coming out about engineering, more videos coming out about software engineering, cloud computing, data, a lot more good stuff coming out for this month. So I got this whole month lined up and a lot of good videos coming. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. See you next time.